Hey there, everyone. It's March 14th, 2017. You're listening to the Sorcerer Weekly podcast. I'm Spidey, and I'm joined by Soma today.
Hello, everybody.
Walk is joining us, but he doesn't have a mic. Well, he does, but he doesn't really speak, so it's just the three of us today. Shadow is God knows where, so
He's probably gone out.
it sounds like a regular Tuesday. So yeah, so
Clap going up.
yeah. So this week we're gonna talk about the new trailer that came out today. Our favorite spin-off, an ideal spin-off we have in mind, and the last two chapter discussions because we didn't record last week. So we have two chapters to cover for you guys. With that being said, we're gonna start with the Fairy Tail Dragon Cry trailer. Walk while you type out your thoughts. Soma, go ahead and give us your initial thoughts on the new trailer.
So the trailer's pretty interesting. I mean, from what we can tell, it's. I don't want to go out on a limb too hard, but it looks like it may well fit within the canon of the series, which is definitely good news for me.
Exactly.
I remember mentioning this earlier.
Yes. Because I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you right away. But initially we got that translation. Whether it's credible or not, it's still not known. But it said that it's not canon. Yet everything we've seen in the trailers and then the official art and all that kind of show a lot of canon material, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, when I first saw the trailer, I was thinking, because one of the first things you see in the trailer is Igneel, and well, I guess it's not spoiler to say it now, but Igneel, you see him die at the very end of Tartarus because of Acnologium. So I was a bit confused.
Yes.
That confused me a bit, and I was like, okay, I assume either that's like a figment of Natsu's imagination, or it's a memory or something, because otherwise having Igneel turn up here just doesn't really make sense, especially because you then see Grey using his demon slaying magic like 5 seconds later, and if you've read past the end of the anime, then you know that Grey doesn't learn how to use his demon slaying magic properly like that until the time skip. So there isn't really a time when Igneel is alive that Grey is able to use his devil slaying magic properly.
Well, the Igneel point is Natsu he had the way he was drawn. He looked very kid-like, right? So it might have been a flashback. It might have been a memory because we see him as a kid, and then we see Igneel with him, and we just see him sitting down. But
right.
So it's gonna be interesting because, like I said, a lot, and obviously we're gonna tread lightly with the spoilers. We're gonna give minor spoilers here and there, like the Demon Slayer magic that Grey got in Tartaros, but we won't give you like actual like major story spoilers because you gotta enjoy that shit.
Yeah, nothing that's happening in the manga now.
But the foreshadowing with Igneel is just, I'll just say it's interesting. Why would Mashima go back or go to that if it's not canon? Is my question. It's just interesting because like we see Wendy going Dragon Force at will, essentially, right? You see her timid flying away while she's getting shot by, I think it's dragons or some beam. And then you just see another shot of her. You see her Dragon Force, and you're like, God damn, like 0 to 100 real quick, right? Because in Tartarus she wasn't able to do that, so she picked up that. We also saw that from the character designs, we saw human form Carla, which was a spoiler for the anime, but at the same time, it was already covered in the OVA, the latest OVA, right? The Christmas special. So I guess they already considered that the audience already knew that.
And that's not Yeah, and that's not why I was saying. Does anybody really care that much? It's Carla.
Max loves Carla, you know that. So walk.
I'll stop. Stop.
So I'm gonna give the audience a bit into what Walk though. Walk is definitely hyped as fuck. He's leaning towards the movie being canon, which I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I think the whole not canon was more of a misdirection, right? Where like, oh yeah, we're not canon. Just like, oh, Natsu is in END, don't worry. And then boom, he actually is END. The start of the trailer,
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
Walk mentions that at the start of the trailer, it seems like we're at the graveyard from the Grand Magic Games. Interesting comparison. It makes sense. You see the skulls of the dragons, and that little greenish color to it, like you did with what's his name, the
With
Zirconius.
Zirconius.
Yes, Zirconius.
Yeah.
You see that somebody is absorbing something from the remains. So maybe using of Wendy's magic or similar type of magic, right? Where they just absorb it instead of giving it life for a bit. He talks about the Natsu and Lucy moments and the Gray and Juvia moments as well. So I'm gonna jump off of that real quick. I think I saw more Gray and Juvia moments. I saw there was more of a connection with them, right? We get it teased a bit in the Grand Magic Games, where they do the unison raid and all that. But in this one, it kind of gives it a similar vibe, and the stance they pull out is similar to a stance they use in future chapters that haven't been covered in the anime. There's no unison raid in the stance I'm talking about, but they have that similar stance and design and feel to it. As for Natsu and Lucy, I mean, come on, bro, Nalu. Need I say more? It's Nalu. Any good Nalu moment is a good Nalu moment for me. But it's gonna be interesting because it seems like it's tying more to the Grand Magic Games and to Avatar and to Alvarez, which I kind of predicted that Alvarez was, or Grand Magic Games was a prelude to Alvarez. Just saying, yeah, shameless plug on my threads. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree a lot about it. Leaning towards the Grand Magic Games, especially Wax points in the beginning of his little paragraph where he talks about the dragon graveyard. Because I thought that felt quite familiar, and having just watched the trailer again, I can confirm. I think that Igneel is a memory at the beginning of the trailer, because in front of him you see a little Nazi, like a child Nazi. So I think that's definitely a memory, definitely a flashback. As far as the movie, kind of the tone as a whole, it seems to pull from all of the recent major arcs. So, and you mentioned the Grey and Juvia kind of stance being kind of a kind of copy to how they were when they fought Leon and Chelia.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see that as well. And yeah, it seems like it's almost like a mixture of everything so far. If it is canon, it'd be interesting to see exactly where in the story it fits. Because I was talking about this beforehand. I feel like the way it fits, it's either got to be somewhere kind of maybe right.
I have a theory for that.
Oh, okay. Actually, I'm thinking it could be like right after. In fact, you said this basically
Yes.
right after Avatar. Yeah.
So, before I jump on that point, which it was a great point. Walk was mentioning how it seems like this movie could be focusing and exploring Natsu coming to terms with either his dragon side or the loss of Igneel, which would make sense because Dragon Cry, Igneel's death, Natsu cried, right? There's more that I want to mention, but it's a huge Oh wait, no, it's not a spoiler because we kind of talked about it. Um, oh, the anime already covered it. Why the hell? Yeah, my bad.
Oh yeah, go for it.
I could. The movie could be about not to coming to terms with both his demon and human and dragon side, right? The anime at the end mentions how Ozarif mentions how Natsu is the ND, and I was like, oh, I can't say that because it's a spoiler. But then I remembered, yeah, the anime covered that. So it'd be interesting if it is that, and because we already know the effect it'll have in future events, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either for good or for bad, it'll have future repercussions. We know it will because END has been hyped like more than the Nintendo Switch. So that's gonna be interesting. That entire thing. As for your theory of when it takes place, we were talking about this before we started. I wanted it, and maybe this is just like I mentioned before. Maybe it's just me being hopeless and uh, optimistic. I want it to take place immediately after it. So okay, let me back there. I want I want the movie to start where Avatar is defeated, right? You don't see anything. You just see that Team Natsu and Juvia and Wendy. Well, Wendy's part of Team Natsu. Team Natsu and Juvia defeated Avatar. You just see that they defeated someone, and then you could include Gajio and Levy if you'd like. Doesn't matter to me. And then you just have it where a new threat appears out of nowhere, and that's the Stella Empire, right? You progress through the movie. You progress through the movie, and then the movie ends. No, walk. We didn't see Juvia and Levy and Gajio in the trailer, but we have Dragon Slayers in it, so I'm assuming it'll happen because the title of the movie is Dragon Cry, right? But I would have the movie end with Fairy Tail being reborn. So my ending would be Team Natsu and goes to Fiore and sees Kana, and then Kana says, "Oh, the guild's waiting for you, right?" And that's where it ends. And then, right? And I already told you so much. You know, I got this shit was hype for me. And I'm not gonna be able to say everything because it's got massive spoilers. But I'll say this: there's a post-credit scene. Post-credit scene is the second half of chapter 436. If you don't know what chapter 436 is, then go read chapter 436. The chapter 436 is lit as fuck, right? The final scene is, you already know if you read chapter 436. And then the screen goes to black. It says Fairy Tail continues. It'll give you the start date for the series 3, September, in this hypothetical situation. Season 3, series 3 starts, and as we saw at the end of the movie. Yeah, well, yeah, well, I was going for that, but at the same time, I don't want to be like straight copying it because Fairy Tail already gets accused of copying everything. So I don't want to make sure you copy something else. But you have Series 3 start where they're in the guild in Macau, whatever the fuck. The coward who was the fourth guild master. He asked Team Natsu, "Oh, what did you guys do?" And that's when we as the audience lived through and experienced the Avatar arc, right? Or everything that happened between chapter 420, which is when Natsu and Lucy ran after they put the fire on the castle at Crocus, till chapter 435, which it's when everybody gets united once more. And then
okay, so this is the anime.
Yeah. So this would happen in the anime. This is how I would start the anime, right? With Makao asking what happened, and they relive chapters 420 to chapter 435. And Gajio and Locke says, "Don't want to be one up by fucking Natsu. It's Natsu. You can't have him one up you." So you would have Gajio be the first and be like, "Oh well, Salamander did that. I was being important." And then he talks about his side story, which was the what is it, Rondite or whatever. I can't pronounce it. Right. and he talks about what happened there. And many people didn't read that, so it gives them an opportunity to promote the manga, right? And
Mhm.
you have Loxus, who's a big ass alpha male, who's like, bruh, while you children were doing this, I was over here in Blue Pegasus handling this shit, right? And the
Yeah, then we get all
and then
that.
you essentially get the two spin-off. You don't get Sabretooth because fucking we could get that.
Well, they're not there.
Well, yeah, they're not there, and we could get it in the future when you would.
It could be used as a filler.
Well, it could be used as a as a reference to some of the later things that happen in the manga, right? But
Yeah.
I said I don't want to. I want to be careful with the way I say things because a lot does this recent arc is very controversial, right? Very polarizing.
Mhm.
But at the same time, a lot of things do happen. Whereas I don't want to say the wrong thing and it actually spoils people. So I'll just say we'll use the Sabretooth filler, aka the spin-off, in the future chapters and future episodes. Right. One of the drawbacks with this would be that the Albert arc, which many people want to see animated, uh, would be delayed a bit, right? Because you're getting all these, but at the same time, it wouldn't matter because you're developing these characters more than the manga originally did in the main series, so that'd be great.
Mhm.
But at the same time, many fan bases are very impatient and they want everything now. I mean, I, when spoilers come out, I'm the first guy right there waiting for them. So it'd be tough.
I mean, I can kind of understand it on like both sides because on the one hand, it's been we were talking about it before the podcast started. It's been a year to the day or thereabouts since the anime went on the
Hmm.
hiatus. But at the same time, I think most people like the side stories. So something kind of starting off with this and maybe into you don't even necessarily need to have it like just playing the episodes, playing through the side stories because that could feel like filler. If you could kind of intersperse it with moments in the guild, so maybe the way that they're framed is the characters are kind of narrating their personal like side stories, and then you kind of have other characters asking questions, and maybe there's some like banter between scenes in the guild hall.
Yeah, that'd be great,
So,
especially with okay. So the ideal thing was uh after the time skip, we see Natsu's a tank, right? We see what he does in the Grand Magic Games when nobody participates,
right,
right? So in future
yeah,
arcs, in the Avatar arc, more specifically, he's a tank. He's just a tank,
yeah,
right? So when he does the thing, you know the thing I'm talking about.
I believe I know the thing.
You know the thing. You know the thing.
Oh, the thing.
Yeah, that
Okay, the
thing,
melty
right?
thing.
You could have Gagio and Loxus be like, "Yeah, okay, Nazi, you did that," and then they just be like, and they play it off as they don't believe him,
Yeah.
but the fan base would know that it was something that happened.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
So
That's
so
funny.
that'd be so I like your idea where and then you just have these interactions while they're telling their story or they're trying to tell the story, and then Gray's like, yeah, but I did this, you didn't do this, and then they try to like alter what is real and what isn't, but at the
Oh
same
yeah, yeah.
time,
Because you get like
so,
exaggerating stuff.
yeah,
Oh, that'll
exactly,
be funny.
and they naturally assume that because Natsu said he did the thing that he was lying. But he's like, no, I did it, I did that, and then he'd be asking everybody, and everybody'd be like, yeah, he did it, or if it was great, he'd probably deny it. So
Yeah,
it'd be,
he'd like say that kind of stuff and like try and get Lucian aside. Maybe Lucy like trolls him, like pretends he's lying or something.
yeah, exactly. So that'd be a great dynamic and a great way to, like you said, not make it feel like filler content, or
Yeah, I'd be on with that.
because in the Gagio spinoff, Cobra comes out,
Yeah.
right? And so it'd be great to have Gagio talking about, oh yeah, I beat Cobra in something, and everybody's like, if this idiot, and they point at Natsu, could barely beat him, what makes you think you could beat him? Right? So that'd be amazing. How that, because they have such rich chemistry. So it'd be great to see that type of interaction, and then you'd have Loxus say something, so not to say that's not true, and everybody just stay quiet because they're kind of scared of Loxus, right? They'll be like Natsu,
And then Loxus just like, you want to say that again?
exactly, and then you have like read in the background, be like, no, Loxus-san or Loxus-sama did do that or something. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm telling you, man. That'd be an amazing idea.
Oh
yeah.
Oh man, anime writers, but I mean,
Yo, if they listen to this, they know what to do. We'll collect our checks afterward.
Follow us on Twitter.
No, that too. So we talked a bit about the movie. Oh, what was your idea? What was your thoughts on that? Where the anime starts off as that, where it references the other stuff, the other side stories. Awkward silence because Rock doesn't have a mic, so we wait.
Well, in the meantime, he did say something else. In the trailer, there's a scene where something's shooting down from the sky like meteors. Could it be dragons? That's an interesting point. I hadn't really thought about it. Honestly, I hadn't considered what those could be too much at all. Maybe some kind of magical weapon or something. Along the lines of maybe like a weaker version of Face, or not Face, Ethereum. So some kind of magical weapon. Because as it stands, we still don't know what's going on. So I really couldn't say for sure what those are, but they seem like they're coming from, like, I would guess, some kind of weapon.
Well, it's weird because we have one of the shots that shows the dragon shooting this similar beam. We have other shots of, just the beam itself.
Yeah, okay. I see lots of magic circles in the air. So.
I wasn't a fan of those magic circles in season 1. Not a fan. It just looked. Don't you think it looked weird? Like they're doing this move, like I ain't trying to do martial arts to do these stances and shit, right? I don't need no magic circle. It was not unique walk. It was basically what Naruto does with their little hand motion, right? So not unique.
I can take the lead.
But so another thing. This is a random prediction with no credibility. Like I said, it's a prediction. I think, and I'll talk more about it when we get to the manga section, because it's like heavy manga spoilers. I think the Spriggan 12, a few of them will make an appearance in the movie. I am booking it. Book it right now.
Okay, so you said a few, without giving too much away. Which ones do you think turn up?
I will see if I give out their characteristics. Oh no, you know what I'll say like this: the sadistic, the crazy, and the yondu.
Okay. The crazy could fit a few. At this point, but I think I know who you mean.
There you go. So, like I said, that's just a teaser for people who read the manga. So you'll probably guess correctly if you guess.
Oh, one of them would make a lot of sense given the movie.
Which one? The first, the second, or the third? I'm saying the second. I told you, bro. Ooh, wait till I get to that shit. Wait till I get to that. Yeah, look at that. I just piqued this motherfucker's interest. Just saying.
Oh, that would make sense.
Mashima, you know where to find me. Just hire me.
Ooh.
We'll make.
There's so much I want to say now.
We'll make magic happen. Trust me on that. But alright. So we talked as much as we could about the movie, and we're gonna talk more about it when we get to the manga aspect. But we're not there yet. So last week, or 2 weeks ago, because we didn't record last week, we asked the Discord audience, which is where we get most of our questions and our feedback from. So I do apologize for the swearing because I know that was one of the things that I needed to improve on. But one of the questions was, what is your favorite fairy tale spin-off? Again, there's been a couple of them: the Sabretooth, the Gajil, the Loxus, the Wendy. Did I say Sabretooth?
He did.
The Gray. Not the Gray as in Liam Neeson movie, but like Gray Phobos spin-off.
Ice Trail.
Yeah, a tale of fairy tale Ice Trail. It's a long ass name and shit. Don't know why we have it so long, but whatever. Walk has only read 0. Oh, yeah, exactly. Well, we already. Was that really a spin-off though?
I think it technically counts. It's weird because it's a spin-off, but it's also a prequel. So
yeah, because I count that. Walk, I get that you read 0, but yeah, he did a little shrug emoji. So I consider it more of a prequel than I do a spin-off. Spin-off for me would be something that takes place currently in the series, but isn't
like sideline.
Yeah.
So the series, yeah.
So like I wouldn't consider. Story. I mean, we'll count it for this purposes, since you could make the argument that it's a spin-off. But other than that, it seems that Walk isn't interested or give any care for these spin-offs. What about you, Soma?
I'm honestly not that much better, to be honest. In terms of the quote-unquote spin-offs that I've actually finished.
Oh, I'm sorry.
0.
There's also Fairy Girls, which is the spin-off with the FT girls. Kagura and Altier make appearances. And so does Miliano. Just saying.
Oh, alright, I need to go back to that one. I only saw the first chapter. The only ones I finished at 0, the Sabretooth one, and the Gargiel one. I think I finished the Loxus one as well. I think. Out of the 4, I'd probably say my favourite is. I kind of want to say 0 by default, just because it's the most illuminating for the series. If it wasn't for 0, Fairy Tale wouldn't exist. So, technically speaking.
The series existed beforehand. I guess you're talking about the Guild. Wouldn't exist.
I mean the Guild, yeah. Like the chronology of the series wouldn't exist.
That's true. Y'all disappoint me.
I don't know, the others just didn't interest me that much. I read Ice Trail too, well at least I read some of it, but I just didn't find it that interesting. I don't know, it just bored me a bit. And yeah, Blue Ice Trail I just didn't try. Fairy Girls I just forgot about. I liked the Twin Dragons one.
I didn't like it as much
outside of that.
Because it was it was just Phantom Lord. It just like I love Phantom Lord as an arc for Fairy Tail. I don't need the bootleg version of Fairy Tail getting the same arc with a different cast.
I don't know, I just liked it because it gave a bit of shine to. I don't know, I just liked it because it was kind of a breath of fresh air in terms of the characters.
And because Yukino was in it. Just say it, man. You like that Yukino was in it.
Literally, yeah. I was like, it's literally it. It's because Yukino was in it, I'm not even gonna
lie. So for me, as y'all know, I love Fairy Tail. I own all these spin-offs. Hilarious, I know. I'm just gonna give a quick recap for them or my thoughts on them, since I expected this segment to be a lot longer than just, these spin-offs kind of suck and I'm not interested in them. I'll start off with the first spin-off, which was Blue Mistral. I thought it was an interesting choice to have Wendy get her own spin-off. Initially I was kind of skeptical of it, because I was like, okay, Wendy could barely get any screen time and handle it. Because this was directly after Oración 6. This spin-off takes place directly after Oración 6. So I was like, I don't understand how they're gonna do this. But it improved as it went along. These scanlations online are abysmal because they're like out of order. They translated the first chapter, the third chapter, the seventh, the second, the fifth. It just went so out of order that people kind of lost interest in it.
I think that's what happened to me. I think it was just so weird. I just didn't bother with it.
I might just take pictures of it because I own the volumes and just send them to people. Maybe, because that's a lot of pages. That was interesting, and then you get new magic, new characters, and you have Wendy grow as a character, so that was interesting. Which one was the second one? A Tale of Ice, A Tale of Fairy Tale Ice Trail. First of all, that's a long ass name. Just call it Fairy Tale Ice Trail, not A Tale of Fairy Tale Ice Trail. No need for that long, complicated name. I liked it a lot. It was interesting to see Gray, in a different light. Besides the whole, because in this spinoff, he's more energetic. He's more alive. Like, he's a child, so he's more active in all this, and he's not so gloomy and depressed and like so serious all the time, which I loved. The one thing I was gonna tell you not off camera, but like off recording, was he meets Juvia at the end of the spinoff. Not at the end, but like somewhere in between the series and the spinoff, he meets Juvia.
Yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah.
First of all, Juvia had big ass hands, so what? Those shits were huge as fuck.
Go with the head.
That's pretty funny. Just imagine a fucking, what's it called, Chewbacca, essentially, right? The big ass hands and the big ass head. But what was interesting is that Gray in the spinoff made her stop having rain come from her. Okay, first of all, that's creepy because she was like 12 in the spinoff, and you're saying she's got big booty. Like, bro, you got problems.
Gotta stop.
So in the spinoff, you know how Juvia's covered in rain because she's gloomy, and Gray gives her the ball. He does something that makes it stop raining.
Oh yeah. Wasn't there like some? Was it gold or something?
Yeah,
something. Some material.
Yeah, it was a material thing that he gave her. What if that's the reason she fell in love with him so fast in Phantom Lord?
Oh, because she recognized him, at least,
she subconsciously recognized him and remembered the happiness he brought her without him actually knowing, right? And that's the reason she's so like into him.
I would actually be so into that if it was like actually the case. If it was ever played upon, I would be so much more into that, because that's actually pretty for anime. That's pretty legit.
I'm telling you, Mashima should fucking hire him. I'll have my people contact his people. But it'd be amazing because I know there's mention that he did help with the storyboard of the spin-offs. Mashima, in a sense, he's very hands-on with everything that is fairy tale related, right? So it makes sense for him to drop these nuggets around, because with Wendy he dropped these new magic, and that's kind of played upon in future arcs.
Is it? I can't even believe that.
The whole Gray and Juvia thing in the Ice Trail spinoff. It would. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might start shipping Ruby if that actually was the case.
If that was the case, I would definitely take back a lot of what I said before, because then there is legitimate reasoning. There's groundwork for it. There's an understanding as to why, kind of where it's coming from. Admittedly, a lot of that's coming from
all we need is something. One line from Juvia who says, I don't know why I'm attracted to you. It was just something that subconsciously happened.
Yeah, or if it would be so good if they were like talking. Maybe like they go on a job or something.
Oh yes.
And what do they get? Like, they get some of that material, and then they're like talking about the material.
And then
one time when I was young,
yes. And then oh my god, Oh my lord! And then you have Gray talking. Yeah, Gray mentions how he was he with Gildarts at the time? He may have been with
Yeah, I
Gildarts
think
at the
so.
time. He's like, oh yeah, I was with Gildarts before I was in Fairy Tail, and this thing
Yeah.
happened, and this girl was crying, so I made sure she didn't cry, and then that's when Juvia just like it connects with Juvia, right? And
Yeah.
she's like,
And then
and then she talks about what happened, and he's like, yeah, how did you know? And then she's like, that was me, and then everybody be like losing their shit because of like, damn, that's legit.
they,
That's
they
legit.
just look at each other and they're just like, oh my god. That'd be wild.
That'd be fucking amazing. That give.
I'd actually like
I'm not even gonna lie. I told you I might ship Groovy if that was the case.
I-
Just
hell, if that happened, I probably would be kind of on board too, to be honest. That'd be
because it would
fantastic.
make so much sense why she's so fixated on him because of that one moment of happiness that he brought her when she was a child, and he was even
That's him actually saving her from the rain. I just want to say.
what happened.
That's him actually, like, taking the rain away.
That exactly.
Compared to their first meeting.
And then when she was older, she forgot because she was so depressed and nobody had helped her so much. Because like it almost instantly when Gray saves her from falling in Phantom Lord, the rain goes away like immediately, right? And I mean, if you've been gloomy your whole life, I don't think one instance is gonna make it like not gloomy. That's why I feel like the spin-off. We need confirmation from Mashima, right? Or his editors, or somebody who works on the spin-offs to tell us, because that would give so much. That relationship, dude, it'd be like it would be a laughing stock. Like right now, it's not a laughing stock, but at the same time, it's not like highly praised, right?
Yeah, it's
If
like easily the most kind of slandered.
if that was the case, yo, that'd be up there with like Alzak and Biska in terms of like legit romance, legit, that pairing. That'd be amazing. So Groovy fans, I just did you a service. Tweet Mashima and ask him. Um, so the other spin-offs. I'm surprised Walk.
Okay.
I'm surprised Walk didn't have more to say since he's like the biggest Groovy fan we know.
He's probably just in shock.
He's just fainted on his room. He's just fainted.
Yeah. He's just drooling over his laptop.
So the other spin-offs were the Sabretooth one. Like I said, I wasn't really a fan of it because it just was a retelling of the Phantom Lord arc with Sabretooth and a different enemy. It could have been so much more. It could have been the interactions with Sting and Rogue and Yukino and Minerva were great, but at the same time, it's like we've already seen these kind of dynamic and relation in Phantom Lord with Fairy Tail. I mean, Yukino gets kidnapped. Gagio, this Rock Slayer or whatever the fuck he's trying to fight Sting. Sting powers up, he goes OP and defeats him. That's essentially what happens. Sounds kind of like Phantom Lord. Lucy gets kidnapped, Natsu rages hard, destroys everybody. Boom.
Yeah, honestly, I felt like the whole side story kind of fell off after the first few chapters. The first few chapters when it's just kind of like there isn't a major specific conflict. It's more about the time that they're spending in the guild, and know there's moments where Sting's kind of arguing with Rogue, and because he's being a bit childish, he's bring the cookies and stuff, and that's kind of cute stuff. That was the stuff I was really enjoying because it's something you haven't seen to Sabretooth before. It's
exactly.
Kind of, it's illustrating how different they were in the Grand Magic Games arc, so it's showing how far they've come along, and that was quite unique to them.
Exactly, it showed their growth. It would have been amazing if it was just a slice of life, right?
That's honestly what I thought it was going to be, and I was really into that. So once all the kind of generic fighting started, I kind of lost my interest in it.
The thing, well, one thing we did learn was that Sting reads anything that's white. Please no lewd comments. Soma.
Oh, that's true.
Soma. Please. I specifically
hold
said no, but yeah.
I haven't sworn once.
I mean, just because I swear it doesn't mean I'm lit. But I
I'm
mean,
gonna have a cry here today.
exactly. Never forget cry. Oh, good old cry. Joe,
Hashtag spread the love.
but hashtag shut the fuck up. So I said to that. I fucking, oh my god. I'm pretty sure. Oh, never again. Never again. We gotta make sure we have a mute button so that happens. So that doesn't happen. But like I was gonna say, that it would have been better with a slice of life because, like you said, it would have been interesting. And yeah, we learned more about what Sting is able to consume, but like that's it. Like we didn't need no 2.0 version of something. We could have just had Fairy Tail being Fairy Tail, or Sabretooth being Sabretooth, but instead we just got Sabretooth being Fairy Tail.
Yeah, no, it did end. It ended very disappointingly. It felt like it read as if they felt like they had to like funnel like Sabretooth into a fairy tale direction, as if they were like, okay, we can't just have them kind of sitting around for 5 chapters. We've got to write in a fight or something.
Which is weird like. Because the actual characters themselves from Sabretooth have a very, not huge, but they have a very good following, right? Sting has a good following. Yeah. Rogue, Yukino to some extent has the following. So it was interesting to see them just go from awesome slice of life to generic FT ripoff, spin-off, sequel thing.
Yeah, kind of whatever. It was a bit of a shame.
The Gaggio one, I'm gonna just skim through these fast because they were a bit mad for me. Sorry for the sneezing.
Let's see.
The Gaggio one and the Lox's one were interesting. We got to learn more about Gaggio and Levy are the Gaggio one, so you Gaggio shippers will love that one. It was interesting.
Oh, yeah, that one was heavy.
That one's heavy with the shipping. Heavy with the shipping.
Damn.
Heavy with the fucking shipping. No, we can't do that with Nalu because Mashima doesn't want
the main characters.
Oh, man, shit.
Because he'd rather tease you for 600 hours.
Nah, I don't want to comment on that. So that was interesting. We also got Cobra in it. So all you Oracion 6 fans, Cobra's in it. It was fun. It was interesting. You learn more about what Gaggio did in the time skip. Same with the Lox's one. He joins Ichiya in Blue Pegasus. Enjoy. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Fairy Girls is for me the most interesting one because you have the girls being badasses. Just alone, they're just badasses. They go to Mermaid Heel. They go to the school. That's the one I like the most, to be honest, because it's so unique and interesting. It's kind of.
I don't actually know.
It's kind of slice of life-ish, but it isn't slice of life-ish because it is still like a progressing story. It's basically, if I remember correctly, each volume is basically a different subplot, but it's mostly slice of life. Volume 3 is where Kagura is, so that's for you and Shadow. You know, I know you guys are fans.
Yep, Walked Up fan.
Juvia's in it for Walk. He's in this. Well, Juvia's the main character, so I don't know why he's not reading it. To be honest, she's pretty bass in it, and there's no Gray, Sama, or all that bullshit nonsense, right? It's just her as a character.
Even I'd be into that. That just sounds like a breath of fresh air.
And Wendy's in it, and that's fantastic. So the main focus is Wendy, Urza, Lucy, and Juvia. Mavis plays a huge role in it, sort of. She kind of becomes a main character. So there's that.
Okay. No, Levy.
No, there isn't that much Levy. What is it? Oh, it takes place after the Grand Magic Games as well.
So it's in Crocus.
Yes. Well, they travel around. Natsu makes an appearance, like 1 or 2. but the majority of the focus is on the fairy tale girls. So that's fantastic,
Makes sense.
right? I guess they just wanted to make sure that the audience remembers that the fairy girls are in fairy tale, and that dudes
Yeah,
are still there.
Yeah.
But it's very much a fun spin-off. So that for me would be my
Okay.
favorite.
Cool. Is that like a kind of? Is it very girl powery?
I mean, fairy tale is kind of very girl powered. So right, you have Urza kicking ass left and right, Lucy
That's true.
progressively kicking ass, Juvia when she's not like all fixated on Grey is kicking ass. What they always
Wendy, pretty much all the time. Yeah.
Mavis is like, y'all could do this. Let's go kick ass. I think
That's true.
the series overall is very girl powery, right? So the spin-off is kind of like
That's true.
the spin-off is that, but just focuses on the girls as opposed to everybody, which is interesting because we're constantly focusing on the dynamic between the guy and the girl, but in this one you're focusing on the dynamic between the four girlfriends. So it's fun. Like I said, Juvia, in my opinion, feels like a real character there. I know I've I've talked about my what is it? My dissatisfaction with how she's handled at times, and how she's overly fixated on Grace. So it's an interesting breath of fresh air.
Okay, this is sounding very interesting. I think I'm definitely going to take some time out to read at least Fairy Girls, or at least finish Fairy Girls.
But let's hope the scanlations are in order because the problem is then they weren't scanlated, and then when they were scanlated out of order. So it kind of doesn't help them when they're like, oh yeah, read it. And so I recommend you buy volume 3 for the Kagura stuff because I know you're I'm not just saying that because Kagura, but I know you're a fan of her, and then the story around that is kind of fun. So you'd enjoy that. If you enjoy that, you could read the others. If you don't enjoy it, well, at least you have cool pictures of Kagura, right? Where she's playing volleyball. That's a win-win.
Alright, so that's a definite call. So that's fine.
So, but yeah, that was so. Like I said, Fairy Girls is my favorite. Did I miss any? I talked about the Sabretooth one. I talked about the Gajo and Loxus, the Wendy's, Fairy Girls. Zero is not a spin-off in my opinion, so I'm not gonna talk about that. The light novels.
And it was animated.
Yeah, and it was animated. The light novels. I don't read Japanese. I did see the pretty pictures.
I've never tried to read them. The only one I was really wanting to read was the one that was set in feudal Japan, like the
the Oda, yeah, the Oda or whatever. That one was interesting.
Yeah.
Because I just look at the pictures. Because like I said, I don't read Japan. Of course, I don't read Japan. So goddamn thing. I own them. I just look at the pictures and they look fun. They looked interesting. I just wish they were adapted to English so I could just buy them again for that. Alright, so we were gonna talk about our ideal spin-off. So we could do that, or we could just start with the chapters. Your call, Soma.
Okay, what time are we at?
48 minutes.
Alright, so we're at about 48 minutes. Okay, I can go through mine quite quickly because I'm like, it's not a huge idea.
Alright, go ahead.
Pretty simple.
Go ahead, we'll do spin-offs then.
Okay.
Walk if you can, take those out as well.
So, my idea would be a spin-off based on Crime Sorcier after the Tartarus arc. So, this would be basically Jalal and Meredy plus the Iraqi phase.
I ship it.
It would basically be... oh my god. I think as we'll find out later on in the manga, perhaps maybe Hero ships it too. Anyway.
I just completely threw you off and I apologize for
that. Anyway, it will be set a lot about them kind of going off and doing adventures and, stopping dark guilds, but at the same time, and that's kind of like a backdrop. But for the most part, it's about them kind of developing kind of new relationship dynamics, or friendship dynamics, I should say, between Jalal and the Iraqi States, and Meredy and the Iraqi States, because you have to remember, Jalal already knew these guys, and when he first met them, it wasn't under the best circumstances. They basically kidnapped him, and were trying to use him. So there's the kind of possibility of a bit of tension there, and they kind of have to learn how to be friends, but at the same time, he pretty clearly leads them. So it'll be about them kind of learning to kind of operate under his leadership, and him learning how to kind of lead a group again, kind of a large team again, and that kind of thing. And as for Meredy, she has no idea who these people are, so it's kind of her learning about these kind of new people that have very interesting and different personality types, kind of developing a relationship with them, maybe developing a relationship with someone like Serrano because they're the only girls on the team, so maybe she could kind of see her as a new female friend now that Ortiz's not there, something like that.
That's interesting. I just have a question. What Dark Guilds, since they were all defeated once Tartaros fell?
Well, when I don't know actually. When I saw the Baron Alliance, I thought that just meant like those were like the three kind of main Dark Guilds.
So yeah, it had the three main
ones.
Dark Guilds. What is it? The first one. I forgot the three of them. Oh, Grimoire Heart.
Yeah, Grimoire Heart. I think the Irrational was a Dark Guild.
No, it wasn't. No, it was a Dark Guild.
Yeah, well.
Oración says Grimoire Heart and Tartaros. Below them they had sub-factions, right?
Yeah.
Every time one of the Dark Guild leaders was defeated, the other ones followed suit. Remember, with Mystigan just messed everything up with Phantom Lord, right? Because they were quote unquote bad and all that. And so they would disband. So I like your suggestion and idea, but like, are we saying that new cults emerge when the Tartaros fall and they're worshipping Xerath? So it kind of ties into the future chapters after 416.
Yeah, that actually ties into something I was about to say, is that maybe rather than necessarily being Dark Guilds, they're just kind of cults of Xerath. And to be 100% honest, it doesn't even have to be about that. It could just be them just going around helping people in general, because it's honestly that's more of a backdrop. For me, in my idea, it's more of a backdrop than the actual kind of main focus. The point is more about them developing their kind of relationships with each other. So it's kind of like, it's almost like a slice of life, but kind of in the clothing of kind of like an adventure series.
I got you.
With like action in it.
I got you, fam. It's like I said, it sounds really nice. But people would be like, oh, well, there is no more Dark Guilds because Tartaros fell. So I just wanted you to clarify on that. For me, well, I'll let Walks first. Is he wanted a spin-off on the Celestial Spirits, on the Celestial Spirit world, which would be interesting, right? It'd be like a slice of life because,
There's definitely nothing going on there.
I mean, what is it? Scorpio's constantly cheating on Aquarius. That's happening.
That's like the only thing that's going on. There'll be like
TMZ
an episode
spirits,
of The Hills or something.
TMZ spirits. In today's episode, are following Scorpio as he cheats on Aquarius for the 15th time.
Again.
Is it the same girl or is it someone else? Tune in and find out.
Scandal revealed.
Exactly. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to learn more about them and how they work, but I don't know how the spin-off would work in that sense. Maybe like one or two main chapters to cover that, because I don't think a spin-off, which would be roughly 10 to 15 chapters, similar to the other ones that we've had, would suffice or would be needed for that. So there's that. My spin-off would consist of Fiska, Alzak, and Asuka. Just follow them around. Slice of life.
Right.
Slice of life. That shit.
Any particular timeline.
Exactly. maybe, tie it into the Omake, the Natsu versus Asuka, right? Have it before that. Have the spinoff take place before that, where they're in a mission. They do this mission. Asuka gets sick. They take care of her. They try to do bounties and all this just to get the medicine for her. They still don't get enough money. They sell the orb, she gets better. You have the spin-off take place, or the Omaka take place where, oh, why did you sell it? And then Natsu's like, oh, well, here you go. We'll take you to do these jobs so you could buy it back for them, right? There you go. Maybe have that be the last chapter, the Natsu versus Asuka, Natsu and Asuka spin-off. I mean, not the most.
You don't even need to necessarily show them getting this.
And then this time, Lucy actually kisses Natsu. I saw every time that doesn't happen.
Okay, you have to sneak that in somewhere.
I mean, like, all kidding aside, it'd be an interesting spin-off because it'd be definitely a slice of life, right? You deal with the only actual functional family, or you'd be interacting with the only functional family in the series, and sane family.
Yeah.
Right. So it'd be fun, and then
would be a lot of
then you'd have everybody loves Asuka because I mean, exactly. It's horrible because Natsu intentionally lost just so she could win. So father of the year right there. Natsu in that scene was more of a father than Makarov has ever been for anybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, there's a reason why Makarov calls everybody children, so he could get approval from them, since he did such a horrible job with Ivan. And it's not. Don't even get me started on the fourth guild master, who was just a coward, taught his son to be a bitch, just passive as shit. And then Igneo, who Natsu, I was inside your body the whole time. I mean, oh wait, I died because I was an arrogant little shit. Instead of waiting for the other dragon to send help. Nah, I wanted to take him out by myself. But it's Agnolovia, bro. You don't do that. Use your brain. So that was my rant.
And the less said about Jim at the time.
That was my rant on the horrible fathers. Halzak is an amazing father in the series, right? Constantly worrying about his daughter. He has a wife, right? He's alright. I would love a spin-off with them. Because Bisca's kind of crazy, right? She kind of went toe to toe with Urza when she was younger.
Toe to toe.
So it'd be fun to see that. So that'd be my spin-off. Sorry for that father rant. I'm just saying, Natsu's a good parent. He'd be a great father. He's doing everything Igneo didn't do, which is amazing. Okay, I'll stop with that.
Okay.
So now we're gonna get into the spoilers of the last two chapters, which were 525 and 526. But before we do that, so obviously this is gonna be containing spoilers for the manga. If you don't read the manga, just pause, go on, and play Nintendo Switch or something, whatever you have. Before we start though, so when we were talking earlier about the movie, the three characters. For those who were guessing, that I would think, or that I want to appear in the movie: Irene Bosarion, Demaria, and Zareth. So hear me out. So with Demaria, I'd have Urza go to the Stella Empire, and she's like, and then you just have merchants be like, "What? I've seen you before. You visited a while back," and then Urza denies it. She's like, "I've never been here. This is my first time here," right? And then they're like, no, you have been here. And she's like, "No, I haven't." And that's when they talk about, "Oh well, yeah, you look exactly like the girl who visited." And that's when they don't show Irene, but you just see Irene at a distance, and she just looks at Urza, and she's got that anger in her face of seeing Urza. I don't know how that would tie with the manga, because I think
it might give something away a bit too quickly, because I don't know, you don't see Lady Guy Sorry, okay, I'm not even going to say too much. I'm going to stop. Before I go.
Well, no, we're talking spoilers
we're
now.
talking spoilers
Yeah,
now.
we're talking spoilers now.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, I only mentioned that
we
Reen and
see-
how she looked like Urza and just trying to... Yeah, come on, someone.
Yeah, we don't see Lady Irene until like after she's been mentioned, because Lionheart mentions her during his fight with Urza, and you don't see her until a little bit after that. So I think maybe seeing her in the movie might give it away a bit too quickly.
Alright, yeah, you make a good point.
It's-
So I'd have her reference then. Instead of showing her, I'd
Yeah.
have her reference. And Urza's like, okay, lady, you're crazy because I've never been here and I don't know. And my mother's dead. I didn't have a mother because I was an orphan. And then that happened. So, and then Demario
Yeah,
would just be like a regular bystander, right? Or she'd just be visiting or seeing stuff, just exploring, because this magical staff, or whatever the hell this Dragon Cry is, she wants to be able to use it for Zareth against Ethnologia, maybe. Who knows why she's there, but she'd be there. And then the reason...
Okay,
What happened?
Yeah, I was about to say what makes you pick. What would make you pick Mario for that over any
Time
of the
stop.
others? Okay,
She could stop time.
Okay, when would she use it?
She'd be able to use it whenever she wanted, right? So she could stop time, quickly visit, and we honestly we don't even need to see her use it because we know she has that ability, right?
Mm-hmm. It would be enough to just see her clench her teeth.
Yeah, exactly. So as soon as we see that signature move, we'd be like, oh, she probably did something. Like, oh shit. And then the reason I'd have Zareth there is because Zareth is a tactician, like an actual tactician. Like Mavis is a statistician and she goes off stats and probability and all this, but Zareth actually strategizes and does all this planning ahead of time. Mavis,
like he knows
exactly. Mavis's plan is trust me, I know what I'm doing. Like, no, bro, I'm not trusting you for shit. First of all, you gotta convince me. So Zareth, we've seen how he amassed that army with Alvarez. So, and we know that he knows a lot about the Team Natsu. So that's how he would learn about Team Natsu. That's how he'd learn about Wendy, Darkrai, Happy, Lucy. So he'd see the events play out, right? Because that's why Zareth specifically states something about the girl that like makes his life worthwhile. Natsu, right? Where he's like, oh, and Lucy, the one that looks similar to my old friend, and that one that like makes your life worthwhile. Of course, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact dialogue, but it was something along those lines. I mean, how would Zareth know all this if he's never seen Wendy, Lucy, Happy? How would he know all this? So I'm expecting him to make an appearance in the movie, and he doesn't even need to play a big part as long as we see that he's like observing him, right? Or hear whispers of him.
Yeah,
it'd be.
Yeah, if you literally just you could literally just have like little scenes where something, maybe like a big fight scene happens or a big scene of some sort happens, and then you get a little flash to Zareth just kind of watching from somewhere.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have to say anything. He just watches it and he just turns around and walks away. And then like the end of the movie, maybe he gives like a short monologue and gives like a short kind of summary.
I'm not even joking. Look, bro. And then, look, we have him in the movie. Then the post-credit scene happened where fucking Ethnologia and Zareth just have that standoff, right? And then Zareth's like, "Oh, I see your arm hasn't healed." And Ethnologia's like, "What do you want, Black Wizard?" And then you just have this massive like pissing contest standoff, and then just Zareth walks away afterward. And then you have Ethnologia transform from dragon to human, or from human to dragon, and say, "The time has come. The Dragon Festival begins." Yo, that'd be. I mean, come on, bro. That first of all, I know this is my idea, but that'd be amazing because it'd be hyping up what's gonna happen, right? Because everybody assumes that the Grand Magic Games was the Dragon Festival, but you have Ethnologia saying that the Dragon Festival is about to happen, and you're like, wait, what? Everybody be intrigued right away, right? That would boost the viewership for the third series, right? They'd be interested. Oh, well, what is that? What does Ethnologia mean? Like, I thought the Grand Magic Games was the Dragon Festival. I mean, that's you have that little thing where it shows the panel of Natsu fighting a dragon, and that dragon could be Mother Clear, and so that'd be great. But
Ooh, that would be interesting.
I don't know. Like I've been saying, Mashima, you know where to find me. I'm here to help you. So with that,
So back to the
so
chapter.
yeah, so now we go to the chapters, which were very, very, very brutal in more ways than one.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So
it's been a little while since I saw chapter
I mean, it only
525.
Okay.
so. Let's see. We have these last two chapters, which were titled. What were they titled, Soma? Do you remember?
Chapter 525 was titled, unfortunately, "Why was His Majesty's Trial?"
Oh my God, that meme, that meme.
I you guys don't understand.
That became a meme
I don't know
so
why I
fast.
just really dislike that meme.
That became.
Happened like within an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand the meme.
So Shadows joined us now.
Yeah. I mean, I have
Wild
legitimately
shadow
I was legitimately a pub like I am every Tuesday. That's why I was not here earlier.
And I'm going now
So
on Tuesday.
I mean, we can't. So I will let Shadow collect his thoughts on chapter 525, and Soma as well. See, for me, this chapter was kind of, just like, yeah, okay. Now August is fighting Gildards and Kana. That's cute. I mean, what I will say this though, the Natsu and Zera fight, that shit was dope. That they're like, Zeref is actually trying now, because in chapter 464 and 460, with chapter 464, he wasn't really trying. He was just like dancing around, and, just going through the motions. And this one, he's like legit fighting. And then going back to the whole Mavis's plan and her tactician skills are kind of abysmal. What does she tell Gray, Happy, and Lucy? Trust in Natsu and trust in me. First of all, bro, I trust in you because you sent 3 Dragon Slayers on a moving ship. Your plan consisted of what exactly? Oh, that's right, getting destroyed by Jacob. Having everybody in the north basically crucified, which they were. The twin dragons were crucified. A bit of luck with Urza's armors and Jupiter cannon being used on Agio. So I mean, she's not a good tactician. So I just found that funny. And then see, what I loved was Lucy's face was like, she had this serious face with 3 dots in it, and my mind, and then like, bro, you serious? Like, you serious right now? Like, you expect me to trust you with this shit? And then the chapter ends with Larcade joining in, right?
And then getting ejected very quickly.
Dude, I felt so bad for the man. Oh, the chapter didn't end with that. Hey, it ended with some controversy. I'll talk about that right now. But see, I felt bad for Larcade because he's just looking for Zera's approval, and Zera's like, get the fuck away! Like, I'm fighting Natsu.
Does not care.
Larect. This is the name, Larect.
Like, Blockade came off like the middle child, and he's Zera's only
Larect. Well, he's not his kid. And
he's just a demon.
And the next chapter, we find out that he's the most, well, not the perfect, but like, he's the closest to, he's the best demon he created besides Natsu, so he gave him the Dragneel name.
Which is interesting. It ties into a theory I had.
I mean, it's just,
it ties into a theory.
It's just brutal for him. There. What was your theory?
My theory was that Blockade was essentially, I think a lot of people had this idea, the Blockade was basically an artificial clone. My idea was basically that Zeref was trying to kind of recreate his own Natsu because he couldn't, because it was like it was his old love for his brother kind of manifesting through the curse of contradiction. Was him wanting to create an artificial Nazi because he didn't have the one that was alive, and that ended up being Arcade because they asked it because Nazi and Arcade are so similar. So that was kind of my idea. That's not exactly what Arcade is. I'm not sure of it.
Well, Arcade is just a test tube baby who became useless for his era and became he got Ignild, he got God Serena'd. You mentioned whatever character Simon, he got Simon. Dude, he literally basically friend zoned because his father didn't want to be any connection to him, and he just gets killed instantly. He's basically killed instantly, right? I was like, dude, feel bad for you.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, goddamn. The
I've
biggest
reread
what the fuck
chapter
moment.
5 to 5. I've reread chapter 5 to 5, and like personally, I probably have to disagree with you on like what I preferred on like Gildarts versus August or Zera versus Natsu, because I didn't really think the Zera versus Natsu fight was that great. Like, I just didn't really enjoy. I was far more focused for like 5 to 5 on that for than August versus Gildarts fight, and just enjoyed that one far more. Like the sort of bits we saw was of 5 to 5 was of the Natsu versus Zera fight was more enjoyable than 5 to 4 or whatever, because like 5 to 4 was quite frankly really boring for me in the Natsu and Zera fight bit. But yeah, I like 5 to 5 is like far more focused on like the Natsu. I mean the August versus Gildarts fight, because I thought there was just a lot more feelings around it.
See, with the August and Gildarts fight, we kind of know what's gonna happen, and then we have. Well, Soma, what was it mean?
Why wasn't His Majesty's child loved?
I mean, you knew that the subplot was gonna be there for that, and then you knew that was gonna happen as soon as Kana was involved. So I was kind of like, okay. This August is clearly Kana 2.0.
I mean, I don't really read like chapter names, so like they don't give hints to me because I just don't read them. So like people is like,
well, it's not even it was mentioned in the chapter several times though.
Yeah, I mean like, even that I was like, I read it and like, yeah, that's probably gonna be like a joke and that, but I didn't think that much of it. Like, although, yeah.
It's just a stupid line. Stop saying it.
Yeah, that is literally my opinion. It's a stupid line. It doesn't even deserve to become a meme.
Don't mention the last 2 pages, which were flashback. We'll get to that afterward. Overall, excluding those 2 pages, what were your thoughts?
Alright, so I thought the chapter was pretty okay. I know you guys have very kind of contrasting opinions on what you thought was interesting, and I'm kind of in the middle, and I thought it was all kind of okay. I wasn't kind of swayed by one more than the other. I thought the whole August thing with Gildarts, now that I've read 526 as well, the kind of opening part of 525 with August fighting Gildarts and Kana felt like kind of set up to a degree. Like, it feels like Kira was using that to set up what happened in the next chapter, with kind of the points that they were making, the things they were talking about. August kind of questioning whether the feelings for like a parent go on to like for the feelings that a parent has kind of spur them on to fight or whatever, you know, that kind of thing. And Gildarts is like, yes, it does, and then August starts questioning it. I feel like that was kind of leading up to the revelation that we get in chapter 526 as far as the Nazi versus Zeref part. I thought it was okay. Again, I think from a kind of a philosophical story standpoint, it's interesting because we're starting to see Zeref kind of he's enjoying the fight now, which is interesting. We've not seen Zeref kind of really cut loose in a fight the way he is now, and that's interesting. at least not mentally. From a visual perspective, I think it could stand to be a bit more. I appreciate the fact that Zeref's kind of fighting hand to hand, which is not how I expected him to fight. I always thought he'd be more the kind of guy to kind of stay back and use long range magic, but he's actually like throwing hands, which is quite interesting. He fights surprisingly similarly to Nazi, actually, which makes some sense.
I would hope.
I could stand to see.
I would hope they fight
extreme stuff.
I was like, because I thought, oh, maybe he has the Dragon Slayer as well. Like really early on, where I was like when because there is a relation to Igneal. Like this is ages ago when I thought I had this idea that maybe he's the Fire Dragon Slayer as well, because seeing as he knew Igneal a fair bit. That was ages ago's thought I had about it, and we've like
that'd be a
like
that would have been a dope spin-off.
Yeah, that would have been quite cool if he had, because it'd been like really contrasting to show like they both had this connection and they both could relate and connect in that way to the fact that they both have a strong friendship / connection with.
That'd
be interesting. Though I don't know how Zeref would get Dragon Slayer.
I mean, Urza is the Dragon Slayer, right?
I mean, her sword is a Dragon Slayer. She is not.
Urza's a weird case.
She slayed a dragon.
With the Dragon Slayer herself.
She slayed a dragon, so she's a Dragon Slayer.
She's more of a Dragon Slayer than the actual Dragon Slayer.
I mean, not to talk no jutsu, the Atlas Flame.
She's the St. George of this. She's St. George of this series.
Yo, let's look at that. Yo, we were just talking about spin-offs, right? And I like that one. The whole Zeref and Igneal relation. That'd be an interesting spin-off.
Yeah, it would be.
Actually, a spin-off. Another spin-off.
I was actually talking about a spin-off I was wanting in the pub with somebody, but about Fairy Tail. I was like, I'd like a spin-off of Fairy Tail of the 7-year gap to get more information about Sabretooth, Mermaid Tail, like who's the Guild Master of Mermaid Tail, how did Kagura join it, and that. I'd like just basically more like a spin-off of between the 7-year gap, stuff about the other guilds to get more information about them.
Actually, that's a very good point, because that's a hell of a lot that we don't see when you think about it. In the chronology of the series, we missed a lot, because the time skip is never really expanded, apart from some really pertinent information. The time skip is never really expanded on too much.
That'd be pretty dope. I gotta lie to you.
Yeah.
So now the biggest what the fuckery, which is exactly what it was. So if I'm sorry for swearing, but not really sorry, because that's what it was. It was a bunch of what the fuckery. In chapter 525, 526, we find out Mavis has a kid inside her.
Oh.
She preggers.
Yeah, I'm like.
She preggers, bro.
I'm like, there's a level of me which is like, I'm not really bothered, because I legitimately knew people like 13, 14 who were getting pregnant, and I was like, meh to that.
Well, she's like
12 or 13. But physically she's 12, 13, and then
no, she looks. She's like,
and then like,
thing, though, cause she looks like a child, right?
Yeah, and then like, and then I'm also like, I'm also a history student, so I know cases where there's like this. I was reading like in 6th form, there was this person who was part of some scandal with a favourite of a king, and because he got the favourite of king got with this girl who was engaged to another dude, and I found out, this person's probably like 16, 17, 18. No, she already had a reputation for being a hoe, and she was like 12. So it was like, fair. I'm just gonna try and forget about that.
Crazy.
And like, so I'm not majorly bothered by the 8. It's like, and also the fact that she's like mentally 22 or something. It's like, I'm not bothered by it. It's like people seem to be making a lot more big deal with it than I am. I don't want it. Like, if I wanted a relationship maybe to have a romantic relationship, I'd want it to be romantic and not sexual completely, because she is physically that age. But I'm not that bothered by it.
I mean, the way I think about it, I think people take it very literally, and I feel like people are almost
sex ed, homie,
the
sex
wrong
ed.
thing. Wait, what?
I could just picture Mavis in a sex ed class, and they're like, so this is. Oh my god. So you put this thing.
Oh, stop. Please stop. Very tactician, get some ideas. Please stop.
Easy access on me.
Okay, what was I going to say? Right, about Mavis and this whole situation. So,
Second time you left speechless. Second time.
Okay, so I feel like people are almost arguing the wrong thing. For me, the age isn't even the big issue because she's physically, her age, but we all mentally, she is, of age. She is regarded as an adult. It's basically like in Fire Emblem. If anybody's played Fire
Good old
Emblem,
Soma with Fire Emblem.
It's a thing. I mean, no, this is a perfect comparison. Like the character Noe from Fire Emblem, she's got the body of a 12-year-old, but she's actually 1,000 years old. So she's actually the oldest one.
Is that the lolly in Awakening, which you always say, which you always want to wear, which you always say you want to wear? You wish she had more clothes on.
Okay, well, yeah, but that's nothing to do with her age. I just wish she wore more clothes. But yeah, God damn it, I'm lost again. Yeah, so I think that this that isn't really the issue for me. What people really should be getting kind of antsy about is the fact that when you see Zeref and Mavis, when they first kiss,
half his height.
I think that was great. But the way that it's framed, Mavis dies immediately after, and
what? Oh my god! I don't want to get too descriptive here. But what if they were doing the thing while they were kissing? Just saying.
I know. I don't want to get too descriptive either because this is where I'm going.
Yeah, exactly. I get what you're saying.
You see this.
I totally get what you're saying.
She's immediately.
But I mean, for me, I don't even think that's a correct question to be asking. Quite frankly, I think the correct question should be asked: why did this need to happen? Why did Mavis have to have the child, and why did that child have to be August? Why did?
So you talk from a story.
Yeah, what purpose does her having a kid serve as a story? What doesn't serve any.
What do you think of the idea that some users of the subreddit had, in that the kiss, the actual kiss scene we saw a while ago, where their thing was actually a metaphor for them actually having sex?
That's interesting. I think if that is the case, it should have been framed differently. I think there were ways that could have been drawn to make it a bit more clear that it was a metaphor, because as it is, it doesn't really look metaphorical at all. It just looks like they kissed and she died.
Look, man.
So
even that is kind of weird as fuck. Look, either they banged and then they kissed and then she died, or he banged her after she died. Both cases are weird as shit. Alright, I'm just saying, there's messed, and you don't want to go below mess. Come on, it seems like Mashima was trying to actively get the fan base to hate him so he could kill him off. I mean, do we really need it? That's why the biggest question in this entire thing, well, there's two questions. One of them, the main one, is what purpose does August being Mavis's kid serve the story? Yeah. Is it needed?
It's a great question.
Is it required?
I hope it is a plot point that is further encouraged and not just it's a kid. We're not going to talk about it again. Sometimes some things. But
there could have.
For me, it's a waste because we've already had this revelation. Because we had the whole thing of, oh my god, Blockade, Sarah's kid. Oh my god, he's Sarah's kid with Mavis. He's Sarah's kid with Mavis.
It's just weird as fuck, man.
And now we've got it again. It's just okay.
Sarah was
we didn't.
Sarah was we'll bang, okay?
I'm not gonna lie, I did legitimately laugh when I saw some people of the subreddit. It was like, no, Mishima's ruined. Mishima's put a pretch in this art. That means he's ruined the character. Because like, I mean, he wasn't that good as a character anyway. It was like, he was a bit meh. It was like the least interesting. It was the least interesting of the people from Fairy Tail do.
I don't get what people love about Mavis when she's shown nothing. I mean, she's clearly shown Zareth because they banged and had a kid, but like,
stop it.
I'm still sort of holding out for the fact the contradiction curse just fucked up and made her pregnant. Like,
oh, they fucked up, alright.
So
it's like,
kind of
it's like I don't want to.
You not.
But
Can you please?
I'd much prefer the contradiction curse being an arsehole and just doing terrible than
The contradiction curse did happen. They thought they kissed, but they banged instead. There it is.
Oh my
that is a terrible
That is your
thought.
contradiction.
I do not want to go to sleep with that thought.
That's pretty funny. I'm gonna lie to you.
Okay, so like,
So
we talked about this for a while, and I still have no idea what's
enough with
happening.
the Zervis banging. It's good enough to talk about it. One thing I do want to talk about. It involves Zareth. He's very savage, like savage as fuck. Like, what does he tell?
He's got the crazy eyes going.
He's got the little fucking Sasuke eyes and shit.
Is it the
Right, but what he tells Larcade? What did he tell Larcade? Okay, Skifty's child here.
Like you're interrupting.
I have no children.
Let me see.
You're just a demon from the Book of Zareth. An experiment on the road to the creation of Natsu. You were the best mate of them, so I gave you the name of Dragnia, but that's all. Like, goddamn.
Oh, did he actually say on the road to Nazi? So he actually was trying to create.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm reading the Crunchyroll translation. So
It's like
it says, so it's brutal. Like, first of all, you're nothing.
manga.
The only reason you have the same last name. The only reason you have the last. What happened?
I said like manga stream said it rebuild Natsu, so I assume Crunchyroll's much better, more accurate than.
Yeah, well, I reread it. Zareth says, I have no children. You are just a demon from the Book of Zareth. An experiment on the road to the creation of Natsu. You were the best mate of them, so I gave you the name of Dragnia. But that's all. That's pretty fucking savage. Not only does he tell him you're nothing to me, the only reason I gave you the last name is because you were the best of nothing. Like, goddamn. Like.
So that's like worse than what Irene said. To
And
her,
then the next page, he's like, and now you interfered in my battle with Natsu, one I was actually enjoying. You defective piece of crap.
Damn.
Like, bruh. Like,
That's
holy
like,
shit.
that's more savage than either of us.
I mean, like,
That's
Jesus
disgusting.
Christ. Like, not only did he just call you useless and shit, he's calling you defective, like...
Wow.
He's like, yeah, and then like, the next page is just Larcade crying. Like, I like, damn. Like, damn. Fuck. And then after that, we do get the whole August. See, I don't know. Okay, and then another problem. I enjoyed this chapter. Well, kind of enjoyed this chapter besides the what the fuckery. Why didn't August tell Zareth that he was his son? Why the fuck is he like? Why does his Majesty's child not love or whatever the fuck his meme was? Like, are you stupid? Like, you didn't tell him you were his son.
It's been like 80 years and he's not told him or something, isn't it? It's like,
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
He went full.
He's suffering from Kanaism. I've mentioned this already. He's like, oh, my father doesn't love me. Does he even know you exist? Oh, you haven't told him he's your dad. How the fuck do you expect him to know you exist?
I mean,
Like,
you'd think like even like after 80 years he realised August is probably the person other than Mavis, that he is closest to. It's like, you haven't told him. Just take the fact that you are probably the closest person he is to, other than Mavis, which he loves
I'm
in a different way.
I'm kind of interested in August's age
Yeah.
because depending on his age, it'll see how long he's been around, and it'll show you how long he's been around Zareth.
And how long he's not told Zareth that he's
Well,
dead.
I'd assume
Well,
he's around.
Sees him as his
I
dad.
was going more off the fact that what if he has immortality like Zareth and Mavis?
I think it's more like
Oh, that makes
Word
sense.
and the fact that Word's obviously that still alive simply because he's that powerful and his magic has extended his lifetime. I'd assume it's quite much like that and is like 90 odd years old. Because
Yeah.
I'd say 90 is still arguably.
Or kind of like Makarov.
Yeah, you probably can still be alive then. And it's not like he's had that been in that rough. Like the first couple, his early life, yeah, that was said to be quite rough. But once he met Zareth, I'd assume it'd be quite hard not to have a sort of comfortable life with the most powerful wizard of the world during that time. Because arguably, Logi wasn't in the world.
At the time, Zareth was still feared because August mentions that he decided to help his father create his army, his nation.
Yeah.
It's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like I said, for what purpose does August being Mavis's kid serve the story? Is it needed? It is not needed.
It feels like shock value.
I am this is the thing. I'm hoping it's sort of like magic Remy, like sort of like a more powerful version of it, sort of that which is his magic, in the sense that it can actually copy and properly do damage. In the sense like a dragon lacrim is like a copy of dragon slaying magic. That August, because he is the child of Mavis, will try and help Mavis and Fairytale in attacking Acnologia at some point, and uses his ability to copy magic to copy Acnologia or one of the seven deadly. I've been watching Seven Deadly Sins. Seven dragon slayers magic to assist in the fight against Acnologia, and because then it'd be more arguably them having a chance, because it's just literally Natsu and Laxus basically doing it with 5 other people helping.
I still don't feel like that would really justify making him Mavis' son. It still doesn't really justify giving him.
I mean, it wouldn't justify it, but it'd be a better reason than anything I can else ever think of. Because like, there's no other reason why you'd even want to give him a reason.
Okay, another question. We do apologize, but these chapters have been weird. Kind of like Arcade's tentacles weird, but probably worse. Because this is like a lolly-looking motherfucker, a lolly-looking girl banging a fucking immortal guy. Like, how did Crack get the baby out of the lacrima? How did he get her out of the stomach? Right?
I mean.
Don't even give me that shit. Like, something had to happen. Alright, first, again, was this needed for the story? No, it wasn't. Could we have done without it? Yes, we could have. But no, we don't. We have this. So, how did he get the kid out? How did the kid grow? If it was inside his stomach.
I'm saying magic C-section.
Magic C-section. Yes, walk. It is a magic C-section from the sham hammer. The sham hammer came down from the sky and was like, "Here's your baby." But
what I find weird is that Precht was like, "Should I kill him? Should I?"
No. Well,
his result.
In the Crunchyroll translation, it was talking about should he kill Mavis or should he let her live because of the child inside of her.
Okay, but I just find it weird that his resolution to that is to take the kid out in a basket and just leave it.
Yeah, I don't really like.
As if that isn't.
I don't.
Like with that, I don't understand. Like, okay, this is Mavis's kid. Why doesn't he simply say, "Yo, I found this kid abandoned"? Never mention it's Mavis, because let's face it, no one knew what happened to Mavis. Apparently, it seemed like he just did this secret and eventually told the next guildmaster. And it seemed like your guild is famous for taking in orphans. This is an orphan by and large. You never needed to tell Mavis's ghost that this is her child. you could have just raised it. I don't understand why he didn't raise it as a member of Fairy Tail.
I mean, even if he didn't do that, I just don't get why. I just don't get why you would leave it alone in the woods. Like, how do you?
Well, I don't think he left him alone in the woods.
Like,
I think.
I mean, I'm looking at the page now, and it looks like he was intending to just drop him off.
Okay, and second of all, how did August learn from his own memories of Zareth and Mavis? Does that mean he pictures what happened with them? Like,
maybe his magic power was just so strong that he was able
to see how he was conceived.
Somehow get memories.
Yeah.
Yes. Or maybe he was able to absorb Mavis's memories.
So he still sees how he was born. It's kind of weird, bro. Kind of weird.
I mean, at this point, we've got some magic necrophilia, so that's already pretty weird. So why not just jump off the deep end?
It's so stupid. Like, I keep mentioning this point. Was it needed? No.
It really wasn't. This is I can't believe that we're towards the end of the arc. This is what we're talking about.
Talking about Zareth and Mavis banging and having a child, which Pract helped, bring to the world, and then he just abandons them in the forest. Yep, sounds like Fairy Tail to me.
Yeah. So, but I tell you what we should be talking about that didn't happen this
Kana's
chapter.
booty?
Acnologia. Well, no. Acnologia still is 10 feet away from Wendy and Urza.
I mean,
and we're
let's
apparently just
face
gonna
it,
pretend
he's a
that's
guy,
not the
he's
case.
probably distracted by Urza's boobs.
I mean, he's
Well, no.
distracted by
Given
another-
Makima's track record, he's distracted by Wendy.
Oh god.
Please.
I mean, I'd honestly take him trying to flirt with Urza after killing his mother over him being a lolicon again.
Look. It's Hero Mashima. Let's talk about what he's done before. Levi crucified, right? Lucy tortured. Urza getting treated like shit by her mother.
Tortured multiple times.
Yes.
Urza was tortured various times over the massive
And
series.
in this arc, Tartaros, future Lucy dying. Right. What else? We have Mest hitting on Wendy. In
Literally Mest's existence.
Mest existing is a problem. He should be dead. Right. And now we have Mavis and Zareth. So I fully expect Acnologia to be this. Okay, this is my crack theory of the week.
I've just had an idea.
No, this is my crack theory of the week. Hold on. Save that thought. Crack theory of the week. Acnologia starts hitting on Wendy. Mest appears out of nowhere, says that's my woman. They start fighting. Acnologia just kills him and then continues flirting with Wendy. And she's like, I'm only 13. She's like, that's how I like them.
Oh no. It's like my idea is like Mest comes in, say, "Oh, I'll save you, Wendy." It's like, and Acnologia just goes, "Bam, swipe, get the fuck out of here, you paedophilic piece of shit." And he's just like, instantly rejected. It's like, I'd respect him for just doing that.
But where's the Acnologia hitting on Wendy part?
I mean, that's not needed. Then he goes off trying but then he gets respect. Then Urza will sort of like him because, like, I'm guessing not many people like Mest S if he is flirting with a 13-year-old, unless he's.
So you're
and then
destroying
like,
the Jersey.
And he's like, let's, and he just starts flirting. He's like, yo, I'm pretty good. I did this. I mean, ignore the fact that I killed this terrible person, and smash your mother to pieces. But yeah. I'd much prefer him to try and flirt and fail with Urza than flirt. Why are we talking about this?
Yeah, this is gone in a really good direction.
Look, man. I was just.
Why?
You know what we haven't actually talked about at all? The August.
Because that fight is shit. That fight is shit. I told you, it's basic as fuck. And then we find out, after we find out that fucking Zeref and Mavis banged, and that he has his mother's memories and his father's memories, so he sees every day that how his parents banged and made him. We find out that he's allergic essentially to fucking celestial spirit magic and to the cards that Kana throws. Like, bro, you useless as shit. And then what does August do? He's like, let me use my metal hand that I use in other things and just punch you with it. Oh, look, you're like kind of wrecked. Like.
That's actually really disappointing. I mean, I get the idea that even the Magic King has a big weakness, but that's such a massive weakness. Like, I'm surprised it's never been exploited before. There's literally an entire category of magic, and it's quite a big category.
It finally made Kana relevant too.
Can't touch.
I mean,
Like, Biska could beat this dude. All she has to do is just snipe him.
Gildart specifically mentions Lucy could defeat him. Just saying, Lucy could defeat August.
That makes sense.
What? There's a problem. I love Lucy. She's best girl, but there's no way Lucy should defeat the quote-unquote King of Magic.
I think what's disappointing in August is even with the fact that he can't stop and counteract that magic, his endurance level, like quite a few of the other Spriggans, he may have massive magic power, but he has no physical endurance to deal with an attack. And I think that's what this battle did show. And I mean, I enjoyed the battle because I'm mainly here for the characters, and like I legitimately preferred the fight for how it portrayed the characters of Gildox on Kana. I thought the Natsu and it was more and like the actual spells and shit being used, magic being used, was more interesting than like Natsu and Zeref, where I just seemed to be like, here's Dragon Slayer match, which is cool, and here's like a dark, shadowy magic which doesn't seem that impressive from like Zeref.
Well, Zeref is more of curses than he is magic.
Yeah.
That's why he's able to counter the
I was expecting a lot more from Zeref. I mean, I was like a bit like something. Yeah, I'm expecting him to be a bit like, here's a massive explosion of some powerful magic, and here's a completely different sort of spell. Because I'm like, I'm 400 years old. I know shit, and he just shows it off. But it just seemed like
it's weird that his magic
seems
like,
a bit. It just
manifests in the same way as Natsu does. It's just
what if Natsu?
Like
what if
magic?
What if Natsu copied Zeref when they were kids?
I mean, Natsu died like when he was like 4. I don't remember anything when I was 4. I mean, I don't remember anything when I was 7. But
I mean,
that's weird. I remember. I
mean, it could just simply be my brain is terrible for various reasons that you know, but I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, because I was like,
it's like, I don't legitimately remember when I was like 4. It was like,
this whole thing is like completely thrown me out of the loop, and I've left so much speechless like 3 times already. It's a new record. Gonna go for 4, but with Zeref and Natsu having similar stances in that, it could just be that Natsu copied Zeref, because given what we've seen from Zeref, Natsu and him, like the original versions of themselves, I'm not crazy, like 400 years ago, it seemed like they were very close, right? So
I mean, that's the whole reason.
That's the whole reason he did the whole Eclipse AR system and all these other things. So what if Natsu, out of admiration for his older brother, tried to copy his similar stance, but since Igneo was teaching him Dragon Slayer magic, instead of using the magic that Zeref knows, or at the time knew, he used Dragon Slayer magic.
That would be very interesting. I would like it if they went in that direction. Kind of show that subliminally, Natsu.
Kind of like with the Groovia thing we talked about.
It pretty much
what
exactly
Groovia thing did you talk about?
To be honest,
you missed it.
I mean, I was talking about Fairy Tail.
So we were talking.
I was a bit busy.
So we were talking about how you should have talked about how Zeref and Mavis banged. You would have been the hit of the party.
What I discussed at the pub was chapter 508, because favourite characters. The person chose Elfman, who was like, that is a choice I rarely hear.
Someone picked Elfman.
Yeah,
that's alternative.
His favourite demon was Jackal as well.
Jackal's interesting.
Yeah, we just
But-
talked about
That's
random. We just
That's
talked
fair.
about random shit all over, mainly
But,
shonen stuff. But that doesn't really matter. This is
the point I've made was that in Ice Trail we see Juvia has that curse. I want to say curse, where it's constantly draining and pouring around her, and Gray gives her an object that makes her happy. She smiles and the rain goes away, and that's the reason why she's so affectionate
Or
and
she's
so
attached
attached
to
to Gray, right?
now.
Because the moment he saves her
Yeah.
in Phantom Lord, the rain disappears almost immediately. Like, I would expect it to go away slowly, but nah, that shit like disappeared like that. So it could be that she subconsciously is attracted to Gray because of the kind gesture he did for her when they were younger. And me and Soma were talking about how it'd be amazing if Mashima kind of referenced that with Gray and Juvia, and they're like, "Oh, I remember when I did this thing," and Juvia's like, "What?" And then she's like, "Oh, I was that girl," and then it goes from there. So we're talking about that. So yeah, I know you're not a fan of Gruvia, but I would
don't,
ship Gruvia if that
legitimately,
happened.
I have serious problem with I don't like stalkers. I just don't dislike massively that type of character, and
I feel like
I will
there's
not
a
ship
story
a
there.
relationship with someone who is a stalker, and that is how I view Juvia. I don't think she's developed into anything else other than that.
No, but what if the reason she was so I don't want to say fixated, but so attached to Gray was because of that? Would it still not change your opinion?
No, because I don't think. I think people should. I mean, I've never been in a relationship. I don't know, but I think people should be more slower. And it's her. It's just that may. I realise that may not work. I just
The heart
look, I think
wants what
it's
the heart wants, bro.
It's
Kind of like Zeref and Mavis. The heart
it's
wants
like
what the
I
heart.
feel like people should be a bit more slower into it. It's like
I don't think it's the heart once again.
it's just
It's a different
like-
kind of heart, Soma.
like the bit. I mean, admittedly, Gruvia isn't completely.
into that bit,
Gruvia
regards.
isn't all terrible. Like Gray's development in it is quite nice. It's like from indifference to actually liking her.
I'm sorry, Shadow. We're not really this.
Stop it, look, I know, I get Shadow. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying about Gray's growth. But
It's
Zeref also had growth, and he had a kid. Oh, I'm fucking dead. Oh
I
my
can
god.
feel what Soma's been dealing with for the past hour and a half.
You could feel. I mean, you know who else felt something? Mavis.
Oh my god.
Alright, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop because we can't continue with this shit. Oh,
That's why you're worse than cry.
you know what? Blame the chapters. Blame the chapters. There's no prediction this week because it's just a bunch of craziness. All right, so
I predict more questionable commentary on Zeref and Mavis next week.
I want to leave. Okay, we're gonna wrap things up now. A question I have for the listeners. You could either comment on the Discord or on the YouTube. I have a question, and then while we wrap things up, my questions. I'm sorry. Was this needed? Was this subplot needed? And what purpose does it serve? Right. So
I mean, you can only really answer the second question if you answer yes to the first.
well, okay. Well, then you have a follow-up question, and you could answer the first one. My bad. Jesus. But those are my questions for the audience. So, like, what would you do differently here? Because first of all, I wouldn't have them have a kid. Like, that's weird as shit. I mean, there's a lot of questions.
I mean-
We laughed and joked, but like, how did Pract actually get the child out of Mavis? How did all these things happen?
I still just want to know how the kid got made. That's all I want to know at this point. And at the same time, I really don't want to.
Look, let's say they didn't consummate. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
How did his
know.
DNA get in her?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Basically, I feel like we want to know. I feel like we want to know the details, but we really don't want to know the details.
Jeez,
It's like we want to know. We
I was
want to know
doing
it so
so
is it
well.
actually sex, but we really don't want to know.
I was doing so well, then I said that. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm fucking dead.
Oh my god.
Okay, so you wrap things up. So anything you want to plug, anything you want to talk about, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I haven't played the game, but if anybody has a Nintendo Switch, play Breath of the Wild.
It's a bit overrated, my
that
man.
stuff's
It's a bit
incredible.
overrated.
For real? You got
It's good, but it's gotten too much hype, more than it deserves.
I've been laughing my head off because basically earlier today it's like because I basically thought the past week or so I was like I've been knowing this happened, but I was like I legitimately looked properly into it. Some reviewers who are giving like 7 out of 10s, the proper like the fanboys. You know when I'm talking about fanboys, I mean people who like are basically way over the top loving this game. It's like some people are giving it 7 out of 10s. They're getting doxxed and other shit for it because it's like, oh, you're not playing it 10 out of 10. You've made the game lower, so it's not the highest rated game of all time anymore. It's like people are just going mental for giving it against people who giving it 7 out of 10, which is still a good score. It's a good score. Anything lower than a 5 is a bad score.
I mean, what I'll say is it's a good game. It's very open world and very do what you want. But there's so many. Like one thing that really bothers me is they removed features from the Wii U version just because the Nintendo Switch version couldn't pull it off. Like you don't destroy a version of your game just because your other version can't run it. Like first of all, you're being an idiot. You should try to sell as much of your old console as you can so you could make some money. But yeah, this whole thing is for another day. I don't want to go 7 hours over this. So Shadow, anything you want to plug or talk or say before we say goodbye?
I mean, I'll pose the question, but it'd be completely more of a joke of who's your favourite character in Fairy Tail and why is it Kagura? Yeah, I mean, I'll just end with that.
I was gonna say something, but it was gonna be a spoiler. And it's talking about. Never mind. I won't say it. People who just listen to the last 15-20 minutes and you'll know what I was talking about. Few things. You could find my comedy album at on the Fairy Tail subreddit. It's fantastic. All the greatest hits.
Oh,
Drop
also
it
make
like
sure
it's
you
hot.
go and read Top Popcorn's AMA. That shit is funny.
Put on a series. I saw Ordinal Skull, the Sword Art movie. It was very fun. You have the chance to watch it. You should go ahead and watch it because it's very, 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 very fun. Lots of throwbacks to the first half of the season, for season 1. So that's pretty good. It does reference the other portions of the series, but overall, it's a very Sword Art feel, as in the original Sword Art. Horizon Zero Dawn. That game is amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like that game more than Breath of the Wild. So that's that.
I mean, people describe Breath of the Wild as Zelda and with Skyrim, and I'm like, that sounds like you've got a good game, Zelda, a good game series, and then you've added shit to make it worse. Because Skyrim's quite an average series. It's just here's a big world that looks nice,
Elder Scrolls,
and that's pretty much it. It's like I don't like Zelda. It's the Elder Scrolls has always thought, here's a really pretty world, and we're not really going to do much else for story. Combat is really still boring in Elder Scrolls. It's like
I get what you're saying.
I'm fine. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. So I know your passion or your lack of passion towards Skyrim, but I would recommend Horizon because the open world, the rich mythology, and
it's like I don't have. I mean, I saw as a PC mania game, open world to me is like. I'm probably going to stay with you from now, but it's like, I still do like open world. I mean, the first game I massively got hooked on when I got back into gaming, other than just casually playing as a child, was legitimately Minecraft, and this was old Minecraft when it was still a decent community. Because now it's just 12-year-olds who have questionable tastes in mods and questionable tastes in mini games. I'm like, why do we need to add all this shit to Spleef? That'd be just talking about games, and we really are a fairy tale. I mean, I don't really think people are that bothered about
I get it.
our opinions of games. we should probably start now.
Okay, anyway, so like I said, my recommendations are watch the Sword Art movie, it's fun. Play Horizon Zero Dawn if you own PlayStation 4, it's fun. It reminds me of think of Brave with a massive open world. Fantastic. Rich mythology. The ending is mindfuckery, but in a good way. It's not this the last 2 chapters of fairy tale mindfuckery. Just saying. My Hero Academia starts 2 weeks from now. Power Rangers movie comes out next week.
Sick.
What else? Series of Unfortunate Events 2 got a series of Unfortunate Events got a 2nd season. That's about it. Alright guys. Adios.
Bye.
Later, people.